in India, the consequences of them standing for something, believing in something, and they're going to die for something. There's consequences for preaching the gospel. We're not always popular. So, secondly, that's the first implication of number one. Here's another one. Secondly, when things work together for good in your life, it is because of God. Okay? Hope this isn't sounding contradictory to you, but things just don't naturally work themselves out. I mean, sometimes God, divine intervention, God has to intervene. God has to work out these things. But what's the point? To those who love God and who are called according to His purpose. So, when things work together for good, I think somewhere and somehow, some way, you can find God in it somewhere. God is working, and He continues to work behind the scenes. And so, I guess the obvious thing is that when things don't work together to their good, then maybe you don't love as God as much as you should. So by nature, things fall apart and degenerate. Okay? And that's the whole point of Romans chapter 8. The creation itself and we ourselves groan and travail, just like a woman in childbearing, in giving birth. That seems to be the picture here. That's confirmed. And again, you know, all I have to do is look at my yearbook and I can tell you that's true. I'm falling apart. We all fall apart. We get slower and slower. Our eyes go, our hearing goes. You know, we may get to a point where we can't even move around. We can't even walk. This world is called the second law of thermodynamics. That's the basic scientific fact. The world is aging. It's getting older, and so aren't you. And that's the whole point here in Romans 8. This is what he is teaching here in Romans chapter 8. And so, here's one thing that the people in the West, that would be us, North America, English-speaking people maybe, I think what we have to get rid of, we need to get rid of this idea that everything's supposed to go right. That's not necessarily true, because when things go wrong, what we do in America is we look to sue somebody, we look to get back at somebody, or because things didn't go right, then and if anything does go wrong, what do? We got to find somebody to what? To blame. We got to find somebody to blame. Somebody's fault because it didn't go right. We got to get rid of that thinking. And that's what Western people do. All right? And we just need to get rid of it. Now, but if we are blessed with good health and good friendships, and you have good relationships, and they are established, and if life is good and you are being blessed, you just need to thank God. Thank God, thank God. Third implication is that although bad things happen, God works them to good. And that's exactly what Romans 8 is teaching us. Okay? The promise is not that Christians are going to be better in those circumstances, and it also does not mean that the bad things are actually good. Bad things happen, God brings good results. If that all makes sense. That bottom line, after reading and studying this is what we walk away with. Bad things happen, but good results can happen. Okay? And so, I was going to talk about Jesus and Lazarus, but I need to move on. Our joy will be impervious if we keep these principles in mind. Listen, bad things will happen to you. There's a couple of quotes I found this past week, so I want to read at least just two. Everything is necessary that God sends. Nothing can be necessary that God withholds. Okay? One more time. Everything is necessary that God sends. Nothing can be necessary that God withholds. That's a tremendous statement. Here's another one that I really like this one. God will only allow things to come into your life to destroy things that would destroy you in the long run. And I'll be quite honest with you, that's exciting to witness in people's lives, particularly young people who are faced with a lot of decisions. It's exciting to see God working in a young person's life. I'm talking about a young person that is godly and spiritually minded. I'm not talking to some about some wishy-washy up and I'm talking to somebody that's really in love with Jesus and in love with His Word, and somebody who understands biblical teaching. And there's a lot of those out there. So the only things that really destroy us, listen, I mean, according to Jesus and according to Paul and all the New Testament, here's what really can destroy you as a person. A rebellious heart. There's a lot of rebellious people in the church. I hope you know that. A lot of rebelliousness. Here's what's also going to destroy people. Foolishness. Pride. Selfishness. Hard-heartedness. A refusal to believe in God. And something that I see more than I want to see. And that is this feeling is that I don't need you. I don't need God. Because I got me, myself, and I. Have you seen that? Have you witnessed that attitude in somebody's life? I don't need God. I don't need you Christian people. I don't need your little country church. I don't need you people. I don't need God. I don't need this book. I'm in good grief. That thing's thousands of years old. How is that book going to be relevant for me and my problems? Well, it's very relevant. And yes, you do need God. Yes, you do. You got to be a little bold with people. I hope you are. So until we understand the reality of the promise of the Word of God, until we understand that reality, we'll continue to be plagued by questions, plagued by life's circumstances and life's problems. So those are three implications. Now, our second point is our good things cannot be lost. Romans 8:28. Okay, unfortunately, a lot of times it's taken out of context. I believe personally it's an error to think that when bad things happen, surely good things will happen. Again, it's that Western thinking, this flag-waving, American citizen type God, American church attitude. That's just not true. So, and here's an example. Well, if I didn't get the job that I wanted, so there must be a better one out there for me. Not necessarily. God doesn't. Here's a good statement. I want you to hang on to this, if you would, please. Listen to me very carefully, please. God doesn't promise better circumstances. God promises a better life. And I think there's a big difference. I hope you understand it. God doesn't promise better circumstances. God offers a better life. And to me, in my thinking, there's a big difference between those two. I hope you caught that. Now, between verse 28 and 29, there's a three-letter word. And it's the word for. Okay, very simple word. We're not going to get into all kind of grammar, but that just simply means that verse 29 is going to explain what was just said in verse 28. Okay? That's what that simply means. Okay? The word for. Okay? And it's critical. That's absolutely critical that we understand that. That God doesn't offer better circumstances, but He offers a better life. Jesus did not suffer so that we would not suffer in this life. That's another implication of Romans 8. Okay? Listen to me. Jesus did not suffer so that we would not suffer in this life. The point of Jesus dying, and Brother Gibbons brings that out in that excellent article, the point of Jesus dying and going to that old rugged cross is that we become like Him so we can dwell with Him. And this is now, Paul gets into words like morph. Those of you in high school, you learned this in English. but just avoid